to get my name called to go up, I'd be a little nervous. And then obviously once I first started, I'd be nervous. But as you get into it, you kind of just get into a zone and it just flows.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I would relate it to the audience in terms of how I'm feeling. But yeah, no, it's, I mean, for the guests, I mean, I try, like we were talking off camera, you just got to make sure you make them feel as comfortable as possible.
They're safe.
They're safe. Exactly.
It's a safe environment.
Yeah.
I'm not here to like expose you.
No.
And all right, guys, what is going on? How are you doing? Welcome back to another podcast on the Creator Chats podcast. Today, guys, I have a very special guest. I know I usually say that, but like I am actually stoked for this because Brady, oops, I said his name, but
that's all right.
But he does something quite similar. Like we can relate in a lot of levels. So with that said, guys, I'm sure most of you already know who Brady Carducci is, but nonetheless, Brady, give him a little intro, who you are, etc., etc. What's going on?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm like David said, I'm Brady Carducci. I mean, I feel like we've known each other for probably 10 plus years. We go way back, maybe 15. Yeah,
we'll speak about that. We'll
talk about that. But yeah, no, like David said, I own my own video production company and broadcasting company as well. So I'm a host. We do interviews as well. So I'm a host on that show, and then we do a lot of filming work, so a lot of social media work, filming commercials and promotional videos for a lot of artists, businesses, painting companies, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So we kind of do the whole shebang. So
and what is it called?
Definitely. Yeah, that's important. It's called Real Collective, guys. Real Collective. So that's the name of our business. If you want to check us out, it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It'll be all in the links below.
Always. Awesome. Yeah, man. And speak about, so the brand is called Real. I'm very interested in this because from the get-go, seeing you three create this, I was like, it's awesome, man, because it's fresh, it's clean, it's new, it's good. Speak about the Powerhouse Team you guys have, and more so before the team, founding it, starting it. Why?
Yeah. So in terms of the Powerhouse Team, so I actually, I founded it with my brother Jesse, and then my other friend Dan. Probably some of you guys watching will know them, but it pretty much all started where it's funny because Fat Bastards Burrito, right?
Absolutely.
The one on over there.
Yeah,
so we were just hanging out one day. It was probably like 8-9 o'clock at night. We are just grabbing a burrito and we were just having like one of those, like, I guess you would call them like life talks or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so we were just like talking about like what we want to do, because at the time I had graduated from university. I went to Brock for sports business, and then Dan and Jesse were both in their last years. Going into their last year at school. And so we were just talking about, what our plans were, what we wanted to do. And then we were just, kind of brainstorming. We're like, man, I have the broadcasting kind of interview background. Dan's got the film background. Jesse has more of the business background because he went to school for commerce at Carleton. So we kind of decided to pretty much combine our skills together. And it initially just started out as like a podcast. So we were just doing strictly interviews.
Interesting.
And then we kind of transitioned to, we need, because, doing interviews and paying for all the equipment and the space is not cheap. So we were like, okay,
maximize it.
Exactly. Let's maximize it, and let's actually,
Run it.
let's try and make some money with it. So that's
Amazing.
when the filming and more the production side came in.
Dude, it's dope, man. It makes me so happy because it literally touches on so many things I'm doing in a different sense.
Yeah.
It's dude, I'm telling you guys, video, photo, production, it makes you feel so good inside, bro. I love it. So it was you three guys, Fat Bastards.
Yeah.
Because I'm very interested in this.
Okay.
The name.
Right.
How?
That's funny. So we went back, and all three of us went back and forth on brainstorming the name. We initially wanted to incorporate the creative aspect into name. So our first name we called it Creativity Exposed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which is, we thought it was cool at the time, but then I don't know, time went on and you're like, what, I think we could do a little bit better.
A little generic,
yeah. So then we were kind of just sitting, I think we were at Dan's house one day or whatever, and we were just we're like, okay, man, we need to change the name. Let's just put it, let's just throw our heads together and come up with something. So we kind of just brainstormed, Real Collective, and the way I guess that came about is because we're very, all of us, I think, they can both attest to this. We're all about being real and being authentic, and not just the way we portray ourselves as individuals, but just how we want the brand to come across.
Absolutely.
We want to be authentic, and we want to make sure that we're not, having respect for obviously our customers and ourselves.
Absolutely.
And be transparent to the work we do.
And I can attest to that every time I comment because like I love the work. So every time I comment, I always get a comment back. Every single.
Of course,
not that that's why I do it, but like I can attest to like it, bro. It's the little things that speak a lot, man. Yeah. So that's awesome. 100%. But yeah, keep going. So it was creative and then real.
We definitely that's how we came up with that name. And then Dan, Dan, I swear, the guy's like a jack of all trades when it comes to video. Like he went to
graphic design,
logos, all that stuff. So he designed like the real logo that if you guys go on our socials or our website,
I'm gonna pull it all up very soon on the screen.
Sure, no problem. But you guys can see on that. We were going for a real minimalistic approach. So it's a black and white color scheme, but something that's really simple. We didn't want really anything too complicated. Kind of just keep it simple. So, people, they log on or they see our branding and they get the message right away. So
absolutely. It's good on mugs, good on t-shirts.
Honestly, it is. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have mugs yet. I'm just looking at the Creator Chats podcast mugs. Like that would be clean.
That would
for
be
you
clean.
And the guests.
We've been
just
talking
real
about
period.
It, yeah.
Just that would look amazing.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. We're also talking about getting some merch and stuff for when we do shirts, shoots, or even some we could give guests sometime as well when they come on. And
facts, man.
All that,
and even a little thing for just like production wise, I think that's cool is like having, it may sound a little funny, I've seen some guys do this, but shirts for you guys as the team as far as like, so like the logo and then on the back being like audio director, talent, you know what I mean? So at least like when people kind of come, they're like, do I ask you a question? Yeah, right. Because like if I'm on a shoot and like down the road have the assistant Haroon, like I don't know if I want to just come in like jeans and a shirt. Like I want them to know like hey, you're the guy who's
in charge of this and that.
It's kind of cool, dude. It's so interesting. That's awesome. So real, how long's that been a thing for?
So we incorporated back in June of 2019. So hasn't even been a year yet.
Wow, things move quick.
Yeah,
you guys move quick with the Power Team. Holy crap.
No, it's crazy because it's like, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this as well with the stuff that you do, but it's just like like when I just said that right there, like we incorporated back in June and it hasn't even been a year yet. It just seems like we're getting wrapped up in the process of things. It seems that we've been doing it for like 5 years, but it hasn't even been a year yet, which is crazy. So
I really want you guys to know that too, because like to me, I don't know why. I think you know what it is, bro. It's the pure quality, but quantity. Like you guys banged out a lot, man. So I think that's why people think they're like, oh, a few years, right? Because that's what most I feel productions would do in the span of like 3 to 4 years. Where like you guys like what's been like 8 months?
Yeah, 9 months, yeah. Around there.
That's exciting, bro.
Yeah. So and it's crazy too, because it's like I feel like we're all pretty. Like we have pretty high standards. We're all pretty hard on ourselves. So I mean, at least for me, I'll talk about myself, but I'll give that perspective. But
Sorry, bro, give me 1 sec.
No, it's okay.
I completely forgot.
to put it up.
The logo.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, guys, you didn't see that for the first little bit, but like just pretend
we're popping it back up.
Just
right now.
pretend that was on. Okay, so
yeah.
Resume.
Yeah. So sorry. So what I was saying was, I'll speak to myself, but I can attest that both Jesse and Dan probably feel the same way about this. But we're very, very hard on ourselves in terms of like the standards we have, the quality of work that we put forth. Like after every shoot or after every interview, it's like we'll do the initial good work, good job guys, good work, yada yada. But then we're straight to like how can we improve on this? Like what did we do wrong, or what could we do better? So it's not it's good to obviously give ourselves a pat on the back, but I feel like we all do a pretty good job in not like kind of gloating in that and kind of just
being very
on.
objective.
Exactly, right? Because
emotions can kind of like tinker with things, but like facts, all right, but how can we move forward?
And you're only something that I guess we live by is you're only as good as your last video.
I was literally just saying that the other day.
Yeah, I mean it's so true. I mean you probably you definitely know that as well, right?
Yeah, bro, it's a constant progression, but there's also that balance of like you said, congratulating your small wins, no matter big or small, like congratulating the wins, because if you don't, like it's just gonna be treacherous. You're just gonna keep berating yourself and just backhanding yourself. So it's that mix, which is. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and definitely keeping a good balance where you're not getting too high, but then you're also not getting too low at the same time. Definitely a lot tougher to do than just to say.
It is, and that's something I preach all the time, like stoicism, just not getting too attached to either. Yeah, like just amazing, we killed the shoot, but like don't get too attached. Like we're content, but like let's keep going. Yeah, or we're proud, but you don't get content. 100%. Sick. Okay, so let's speak about So as far as the team go, you have you three. Now bringing on like the fourth guy or like assistants, or you were speaking to me about like having like 5 to 6 people to shoot. Like, explain the dynamic in that. How come?
Yeah, so when it comes to I guess I could talk on because like in terms of like production wise, like in terms of the most amount of people we have is usually when we do our interview stuff. So we do all that out of Artscape Daniel's Launchpad. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but
a little bit.
Yeah, so just a quick little spiel on that for people who might want to check it out. But it's basically, so it's located downtown in Toronto, just off of Lower Jarvis and Queens Quay area, right by the water. So that was started by the Weeknd's label XO. Yeah. So his creative director Lamar Taylor and this other guy, I know he goes by, I forget his name. I think his name's like Ahmed, but he goes by the Commissioner on Instagram. But they basically teamed up, and so they're both from Toronto.
Beauty.
And they're both creatives in their own right as well. So they basically teamed up, and they wanted to essentially bring like a creative hub for creators in Toronto because I mean
it's growing, man.
It is growing. It's 100% growing. Yeah. So they wanted to kind of catch that wave and just really give creators a chance to express themselves and have the resources to put what they have in action, right? So we rent out whenever we do our shows, we rent out a studio there. And actually, what's really unique to that is a lot of the equipment that we need. It actually comes with the studio booking. So
Crazy.
The lights, the a lot of the cameras we use comes with that too.
That's
so
amazing.
we do that. But essentially, like for roles, obviously, I'm the I'm on camera, one of the hosts. We also have another host as well. Her name's CJ. So a lot of her, we've taped because we bank all of our episodes. So she's filmed a couple episodes already. So her episodes will be out relatively soon. And then we've also teamed up with one of our close partners, I guess you could say. His name's Mike Upfold. So he actually owns his own record label in Toronto. Sick. And so he does a lot of I guess you would say like artist managing, and he's involved with a lot of the music scene in Toronto. So he's well connected through there. So we've teamed up with him. So he's also on set. And then when it comes to actual production parts, so I would say Dan is usually the one who is on camera. So he's making sure the video settings are right. Nothing's amiss when it comes to that. And then Jesse has an audio background. So he actually minored in music at Carleton, so he takes control of a lot of the audio and just making sure that stuff sounds good, because you can't have bad audio.
Absolutely.
And then also our mutual friend Josh Kobayashi, shout out to Josh. We get him a lot also to take a lot of behind the scenes photos, and he likes to help with. He has a good background in photo, video, and lighting.
He's a jack of all trades too.
He
Josh.
is. He's a really talented guy.
I shout out Josh a lot, and I know he helped me a ton with photo and video.
No, 100%.
He's very talented with you tell Josh to do something, like he knows how to do it, bro.
He does.
Even if it seems unrelated, like something on a computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, can you code this like website? He's like, bet. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like,
what I like about Josh though too is like I feel like no matter the situation, he just keeps a calm demeanor no matter what. Like you'll never know this guy is stressed out, which is especially like on set when things may go wrong or something, like other people could be freaking out. He's like, you know what, guys, like don't worry, like we got this, it's okay. But,
very mindful.
Yeah, he's very mindful. Yeah. But no, yeah, like so we those are pretty much all the people on set that are involved. And then sometimes with the guests that we have on our show, they'll have like either their PR manager, or they'll have a couple of the guests would like to bring some of their friends sometimes just for more support and all that. So it's definitely like it's definitely a crowd on set, but it makes for a good atmosphere. So how
do you think that does that, would you say, enhance the vibe? Does that maybe add a bit of jitters because there's like 6 people? Like how's your experience with that? Because for me, like this podcast as an example, like it's either you and me and the guest, and maybe like Haroon in the back. Like I don't have 5 people watching. So like explain that, like pros.
What? For me, it's a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit. Like I get a little nervous like before I go on, but it's one of those things. I like to compare it to when you were in school and you had to stand up in front of the class and give a speech. I know for me, like whenever like when I was waiting around to get my name called to go up, I'd be a little nervous, and then obviously once I first started, I'd be nervous. But as you get into it, you kind of just get into a zone and it just flows.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I would relate it to the audience in terms of how I'm feeling. But yeah, no, it's, I mean, for the guests, I mean, I try, like we were talking off camera, you just got to make sure you make them feel as comfortable as possible.
They're safe.
They're safe. Exactly.
It's a safe environment.
Yeah.
I'm not here to like expose you.
No.
And like I told Brady before, it's like, obviously he has a very good background in this, but like really quick rundown, you know, it's candid. The podcast is unscripted. It's just, I want to know who you are as an individual, what you're doing. I'm not here to blah, blah, blah.
Of course.
Just for you guys out there who may be doing anything in this world, having your guests be as calm as possible is probably one of the best ways to extract content, not only just for them, but for everything. Yourself, just, yeah, it's one of the best things. So
yeah, because if you're
that's why you give them coffee or tea
in a creator chats podcast.
Yes, exactly. Because when I honestly think, like, when you sip something, you're naturally more calm.
Yeah.
Even if it's water, like if it's just very rhythmic, just like I've literally had people after they take some of their first sips of coffee, they're like, cheers, man. Like, I'm feeling better.
It's actually funny though, because you say that, but it's funny because we also, like, for obviously on our show too, we give guest water too. Yes. But it's funny because I swear, like, the first, even myself, it's like I'll get so into the interview, like just so in a zone that I'll totally forget the water is there and I just won't even touch it.
You forgot this, bro?
No, exactly.
I'm nearly done. I was like, bro,
right,
I'm gonna drink it.
I'm gonna pick mine up right now.
But that's actually good. That shows like how much you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know?
And how much my intention. But no, it's just funny because, you know, the first couple interviews, I had to literally be like, me or the guests would not touch the water at all.
Yeah, it was like prop.
Literally. And I was be like, hey, like off camera, like, hey, like, you know, like for you, you know, you can have it. But it's just a funny thing. But yeah, no. So. It's definitely a good experience. Definitely, I think something that we all enjoy, and it's just definitely, you know, it's part of it's definitely one side of our business that's more the community aspect and really showcasing the creators, and then on top of you know, the other stuff we do with the video production. I think it meshes well.
Let's actually speak a little bit about that, because
definitely.
I've noticed recently, like it's at least like I've seen it really pick up, like as far as I watched, man, both of the Michael Kappa videos. They were dope. I was literally just watching the last one, the public speaking one.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Speak about that, man, about like the commercial stuff, because you guys are pretty multifaceted in like the genres, I guess you could say, of what you do.
No, 100%. And that's what we try to do. Obviously, you know, we can't, you know, there's so much stuff you can offer, but I feel like if we can offer, you know, a core
absolutely,
kind of suite of things,
absolutely,
and that kind of sets us apart, definitely. So yeah, I mean, just speaking on the Michael Kappa video. So I've known Michael. I mean, we go way back. We've played rep baseball together. We went to elementary school, high school together. So he's one of my close friends. So he actually owns his own painting company called Altona Painting. So shout out Altona Painting.
Shout out to you, bro.
Shout outs to you, definitely. But yeah, so he basically approached us and was like, hey, you know what? I'm looking to get a little promotional video done for my painting company. You know, I've seen some of the work that you guys do, and I'm really impressed with it. So I like to sit down with you and come up with something that we can put together. So you know, we sat down. We you know, we were discussing some ideas. So he really wanted to showcase you know, him and his team painting, interacting, the prep work and everything that goes into the job. So
behind the scenes, essentially.
Exactly.
What the client's getting themselves into.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so important. I can relate with this with commercial work. Like it needs to be. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah. No, but yeah, no, exactly what you're saying. It needs to be. It needs to kind of encompass everything, so that someone who's coming in or doesn't know Altona Painting
feels
or whatever.
Familiar.
Exactly.
Like, this is what I saw. This is what I expect. Amazing. This is exactly what the video portrayed.
Yeah. Right? And what we did in it, which we all discussed, which was a really good idea, was Michael wanted to definitely incorporate client testimonies as well.
Yes.
On top of also getting the audience to know, you know, a little bit about his team, so a background of who he is. You know, also
Matt Sofer, I had no clue he had the team of the two guys.
Yeah.
I found it very cool. I found it very
Andrew
interesting.
Fernandez as well. So we definitely incorporated them on camera too. So people are more familiar with them and his team. So yeah, and then he also too is Mike's getting into speaking as well.
I saw that. That's dope, man.
It's really cool. So he actually for the intro video that we did for him, just kind of introducing him as a speaker, he did that speech at I don't know if you know Jolly Cafe. It's in Ajax off of Harwood. So he had a talk there.
Oh, it looked nice.
Yeah. So his speech was on resilience. So we went in there and we you know, taped a little video for him to kind of just introduce himself as a speaker. So you know, definitely look out for more videos from him in terms of content wise when it comes to speaking. So,
and it's great too, because regardless of what you're doing, like that shows, like, even if you have seemingly, I don't want to say an older trait, but something more like the trades as far as painting or maybe like electrician or whatever it is, like you can still find ways to mold that and make it new and creative now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's not like,
exactly.
oh, I do like carpentry. I can't. Like,
I can't really, like, how am I going to promote that
that's
through
not
video?
a podcast like that. It's like bullshit. Like, yes, it is. Of course it is. Anything is. So, like, for you guys who have maybe small businesses in really whatever field, like, I just came back from physio, and the guy who's running it obviously is older. Like, he's maybe like close to 40 years old.
Okay.
For whatever reason, like, I was super stoked. I told him about, the podcast, everything, et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, he was so on board with that and so almost in touch with that, where he was like, oh, like, I have a few YouTube videos, I'm trying to get into this, yada, to explain this. I'm like, dude, like, you're already running it, bro. Like, that's amazing. And like, so it goes to show, regardless of your age, regardless of the niche, like, you still can keep up with flow. And like, that is not only you can, like, it's your obligation to.
Exactly.
Like, you should.
Yeah. It's in your best interest to.
Yes, absolutely. For all of us, so yeah, man, it's not foreign. Like, it's your friend.
Exactly.
I would say life's
life's
happening for you, not to you. Like, it's not something where it's like, no, I gotta do this. It's like, you want to do this.
Yeah, I get to do it.
I get to do this. Like, this is amazing. So, use Michael Kappa as a bit of, I guess, inspo in that regard. So that's dope. Shout out to you.
No, 100%. And definitely, just to speak on the fact of, like, I get to, it's definitely like a thing that I never, like, like before, when I first came out of school, I was still unsure because to be frankly honest, like, I went to school for sports business. It's a completely different industry than what I'm in now.
Right.
So I had really no clue that I would be doing something like this. I mean, I know Jesse as well. My brother, that we talk about this all the time, and some of this, like, even simply going to a shoot for so and so, or having someone on and interviewing, like, we reflect sometimes and we're like, man, like, I can't believe we're doing this. Like, who would have thought that this would be something that we would actually get into, because it wasn't even on our radar at all. So and
those are the best things, I feel like, when they hit you out of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you realize, like, how capable you actually are of things that you thought seemingly you couldn't do. And I'm sure there were tons of things in the schooling that carried over.
Oh, 100%.
Right? So, like, even for you guys, again, like, if you go to school for business, but you go into, like, the music industry, like, there are still tons of skills, like, I'm sure you can utilize, even if it's not the technical thing you're learning, like, your resilience in, like, getting all your assignments done, or, like, doing this and this, like, So, yeah, speak about that a little bit as far as, like, the schooling and how that carried over, because I remember for a time being, like, there was you almost did like a little like Raptors or like basketball kind of talk show thing, which was dope. Like, I didn't know anyone knowledgeable. I was like, this motherfucker knows everything. This guy was like, Laurent, back with this, the 4.0 back here and across the street. And I was like, motherfucker, like, this is dope.
Yeah, no, so I guess a little bit of background on that started. So I guess I'll take it back to my last year at Brock. So I was, so basically it was my last year, and I was really trying to so I was involved before, definitely with different things in school, but I really wanted to get a little bit more involved. So in my last year, I actually volunteered for so it's called Brock TV. So it's basically like a student-run production network at my school. So
what school? So you said
Brock University. Yeah, so that's up in St. Catharines near Niagara Falls. But yeah, so I volunteered with them. So just basically, so they would broadcast all of our schools, like sporting events, so hockey games, lacrosse games, all that kind of stuff. So I mainly worked the hockey game. So I would be I actually did a number of different roles, but one of the main roles is, so I'd be on camera. So I do you watch an NHL game, they have the post first period or second period, they'd have an interview with the players, ask them, how the game's going so far, what does your team have to do to kind of turn things around if they're losing, or vice versa. So I would kind of do that with whatever team that Brock would be playing at the time. And then I would also do a lot of broadcasting, like the panels and stuff you would see, like, before games and during the games and stuff.
Absolutely.
I do that as well. And then I dip my foot in, like, play-by-play commentary. So that's
actually like as it's going live,
it's going live, like, play. Like, oh, like so and so number 6 passes it to number 5, takes a shot on that type of thing, which is honestly, I found that's extremely hard to do. Like, and I don't know, I like going into it, I was like, oh, you know what, this is not too bad. Like, I'll be able to do that, no problem. I struggle greatly with that.
There's so many moving parts.
Yeah, it's definitely hard it definitely takes a unique skill, and definitely takes a lot of practice to definitely, like, master that for sure. But that's a little bit off topic, but still, yeah. So I definitely got my experience in that. And then once I graduated, I really took a knack to that type of field. So I was asking around, and actually one of my mom's friends, she's actually, used to, but she well, not used to. She's in the radio industry, so she used to work for Flow 93.5 as a radio broadcaster. So I was I was asking her for some advice of what can I do to just give myself some type of experience or to show people kind of my talent or my skill to get myself out there. And she was saying, you know what, like you got to utilize social media. So what's something that you're really into? And I was like, man, like I really enjoy watching the Raptors play. So she's like, you know what, why don't you do this? Why don't you go in and just do little educational stories on your Instagram about like a pregame, like who's playing, like the stats of the lineup, what can viewers expect to get out of this game, like who's really hot right now, if Lowry's had a big last couple games, and kind of just showcase that. So shout out to Janessa, I really appreciate all the help.
And sorry, she was your mom's friend.
My mom's friend.
So she was, I don't want to say older, but like
no, she's actually pretty young. She's okay. I'm not sure her exact age, but she's got to be around like her early to mid 30s actually. Yeah, so
and that's dope that like even she, because like that is still I guess like a little bit older, like for her to say like, yo, use social media.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other people that I reached out on. So that's one thing too as well. So for people who are, at least this is something that helps me. So for people who are coming out of school and they're trying to get their foot in the door, and really reach out to your network and really get out there, even if it's at events or even if it's your mom knows someone or a friend of a friend knows someone. Really get out there and just meet with them, have a coffee with them, because this is something that I learned as well, is like you never know. You gotta ask. You never know what people are willing to do to help you out if you don't ask. And for the most part, people are willing to, especially if you show them that you're committed and you have the drive, they're willing to help you out. If they see that. So I feel like that's something that's really important too. But yeah, I also reached out, like I have, my dad's cousin, Mark Sakuchi, he works at CTV. He's one of the, senior guys in CTV. So I reached out to him and just kind of picked his brain on the, the television industry. And then, I reached out to someone at TSN as well, and just had a call with them, and just any advice that they could give me, I was kind of soaking it up. But, I transferred that into, I volunteered with Rogers. So they actually have an office out in Oshawa. They have a couple offices. They have one in downtown Toronto, but they have one kind of closer to home here in Pickering, through Oshawa. So I actually volunteered with them. So I did that's where I guess kind of my minimal camera experience came in, where I would do, the Oshawa Generals, right, at the OHL? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would do, so they were in charge of actually filming all of the live broadcasts for the games on TV. So I would actually help out with that. So I'd be one of the people actually manning the cameras and filming that. So that was a pretty, definitely a different experience in terms of anything that I had done before. So that was a good learning lesson. Then I also, I had an opportunity to, they had a different segment as well. They would do interviews and stuff with a lot of sports university athletes and stuff at like UIT and Durham College. So I would do a lot of filming for that, filming those interviews. So I guess that's where you could say my film experience came in as well. So yeah, that's kind of how it kind of led up to where I'm at now, I guess you can say, and that little spiel that I just did. But yeah, so.
All right, guys. So just took a little intermission. Camera shut off, and we are back now. Brady took off his shirt in case you're wondering who is this new guy. We're not filming on another day, I promise.
Yeah, exactly.
So guys, we kind of got Brady's story as far as how he got into everything he's doing now, as far as the schooling, how it can really transfer over. So even if you guys think that like you're in something that won't translate, like I don't know, maybe I would encourage you to maybe think differently, because you'd be surprised. I think that's all I'm going to say.
I think so,
You'd be surprised. Mm-hmm. You really don't know. So anyways, with that said, guys, I think now we're going to get a little bit more into Reel, because I really want to show you guys through the screen just like the work, the production, the quality, like whether that's the people on, the setups, some behind the scenes, like as far as you or Daniel or Jesse, like it's really dope. So, and then if you want to, I guess commentary as we go, we'll just chat. We'll just
100%. We can
chat out here.
Yeah, and if you want, and even too, like we on our YouTube too, we have a bunch of videos.
Dude,
as well,
yes.
If you want to pull those
so
up,
exactly, you let me know videos like
100%.
Let's start with the what do you want to start? YouTube, Instagram. You let me know, bro. You know where.
Why don't we get into the video, like the YouTube?
Let's do it.
Videos, yeah, because
awesome.
we have variety on there. So
let's do it. Let me just get a little screen recording.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Just Real, Collective?
Yeah, Real Collective. Yeah, the first one right there.
This is the fitness channel, so
Don't
worry.
So
Looks clean, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
It looks clean. So I'm doing the screen recording here, so they'll be able to see as well.
Okay, no problem.
I like the layout, bro.
Thanks.
It's
No,
very
I appreciate
nice.
that,
Like
yeah.
I can appreciate stuff like this. You know, being on YouTube for a while, you have the intro video, or essentially what you guys are about. You got the clean banner. I mean, Daniel, like, obviously, you guys got graphic design,
Dan.
right?
Dan is definitely very
Yeah.
particular when it comes to that. So that's definitely
He can
all him.
feel this. Real talks. I like this. The interviews, stories.
Mm-hmm. And then grassroots.
Interesting.
And then,
So like you're getting
features.
you're getting into like mini documentaries essentially.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So we can definitely pop one of those up too.
I love
but
it.
I guess we can, because those are a bit longer. But let's start. I guess we can start with.
Yeah, man.
the-
I can skim through. Like I can go to
Okay.
certain parts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Whatever you want, man. Which one you thinking?
So why don't we start with the grassroots stuff?
Let's
so
do
let's
it.
go all. So yeah, let's do the
A or B?
the Tremaine one. Yeah,
Tremaine. Where's that? Oh,
that one. You have it on.
I love the thumbnail of this.
Yeah.
Is that like neon? Like what?
Yeah. So that picture was taken actually with one of his shows. And one of the lights was like. So basically,
It's like fluorescent. Or
it's like
whatever.
a fluorescent
like a
light.
mini putt.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Dope.
So this is just before you start, I'll give
Yeah,
you a
no
little bit
worries,
of
no worries,
background
no
on
worries.
it. But so this basically, so Tremaine is a local artist from Toronto in the hip hop genre, and he reached out to us, looking to get a little, a video done in terms of. Well, it was mixed. He was looking to get a little video done to help because he had seen some of our past work that he'd done and he liked it. So he kind of wanted to get a video done. And then we, at the same time, were at the stage of looking to really showcase, the local creative in Toronto. So we kind of combined both of those together.
So sorry, when was this? Was this one of like the earlier projects you said? So
Yeah, so this was I think back in November.
November, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so-
November of 2019. So I guess you can. Yeah, it was
very organic. It's able to help both you guys out at the perfect time,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the best gigs. Like that is.
Yeah, it definitely aligned well. So this was just basically it was a voiceover, and then we went to a
Nice.
show and we paired a lot of visuals with that.
Nice.
So really wanted to tell his story and a little highlight on a few key things in regards to his music, why he does what he does, the type of energy and stuff he brings
man.
to concerts, and kind of where he sees himself going in the next few years.
And it's interesting how it's only 1:30.
Yeah,
So I'm excited to see how you guys are able to like
compact that in.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Dope.
So
Okay, let's do it. Don't we turn it up a bit?
yeah.
Let's turn it up a bit. I want you guys to get the
The audio.
I got the visual here, but I want the screen recordings. BRB.
My name is Tremaine. I'm a 30-year-old musician from Toronto, Ontario. Music to me it's life. It's really an opportunity for me to figure out what I want. It's an opportunity for me to be able to use it when it comes to like performing or when it comes to like writing or anything of that nature. It's like every aspect of music is really just me trying to like figure out what's next in life and how to get to that next step. What I enjoy most about performing is definitely just like the connection that you have with the crowd and being in like just a space where it's you on stage and it's them looking at you on stage and you guys are just kind of like exchanging energy and being able to create a moment where everybody's just like free. I feel like a lot of my inspiration really comes from like life and like the people that I'm around and really being inspired and constantly motivated to have all of the dreams and all of the aspirations that everybody around me has come true.
That's sick. I love the logo.
Thank you. Yeah, I know it's
dope. I kind of want to watch like maybe not the whole doc.
I'm
There's
a
the-
30-year-old musician from Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah, we have another grassroots one too.
That's clean.
Yes.
That's weird. Here, let me just get the audio back. I turned up the audio so it would sound mint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's weird is that almost didn't feel like a minute and a half. It almost felt like longer, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a
Okay.
good, like concise, like So I thought a minute and a half was just going to be like, hi, my name's done.
No, yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
So that's, you guys did a really good job at explaining.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just want to give a shout out to Josh because he was the one who actually filmed that as well.
Nice.
So big shout out to
my
Josh.
boy
as
Kobe.
Well. Kobe.
It looks clean, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So that was November, you said.
So that was, well, we went to one of his gigs, which was, I believe, October 12th, and that's when we filmed it. But we didn't, because we had a lot going on. We didn't get to release it until November. But yeah. Mm-hmm. And I guess because we have that video and another video as well, it's under our Grassroots playlist on our YouTube channel. So the whole reason we titled it Grassroots because it's very definitely the development stages of the artist's career. So we want to definitely highlight a lot of those people because obviously it's good to highlight the people who are already made it or already there, but also I feel like a lot of the times the people who are on their journey up.
That's the most important part, dude.
Exactly.
That's like, I actually think that's more important because not only can more people relate with that, but those like the most vital phases. Like once you've already made it, it's cool, but like you're living, there's no struggle. There is, of course, but like when you're in those phases like that, and that's what I want this podcast to be like. I don't really necessarily, at least right now, want to interview people that, well, first of all, I don't think they'd come on, but like I don't want to interview people that like have like already made it because then I just don't feel like there's you can't like connect so much with that, especially if these guys are just starting, So 100%. I find it very cool that you guys are able to have that contrast and incorporate that. You're not just interviewing people with like fucking 100,000 followers.
And I think all of us collectively, it's we wanted to definitely, in order to set ourselves apart, we wanted to have a good mix, of people who are coming up and getting to share those stories, but at the same time, people people who have made it, because I feel like they each of them have different perspectives, different values. Definitely. They can give different audiences, right?
Definitely.
It's good to highlight both. 100%.
Sure. And it can also be as inspo to people who have made it as like
exactly.
Bet like this is possible.
Okay, this is
dope, man. So you want to click the this one?
Yeah. So this one is one of our friends as well. His name's Brandon J. So he's from Toronto, Brampton as well.
Nice.
So he's a music producer. So he makes a lot of music.
Nice.
He actually produces a lot of songs for another one of our friends called Keyshawn. So he's an artist as well from Brampton. He definitely, both of them put out really good quality music. So I definitely, if you guys are into hip hop and all that kind of stuff, definitely advise you guys to check their stuff out. It's I think you guys will like it for sure. So this is kind of similar to the Tremaine video in terms of the message of the video. It's just obviously it's going to be a different setting and he's going to obviously give different answers, but keep it diverse. Exactly.
My name is Brandon J. I'm 24 years old. I am a music producer and I'm from Mississauga, Ontario. Music is a form of self-expression. It's the greatest way to convert any type of energy you have into something positive. I feel like music speaks literally volumes, so music is a form of self-expression and it's one of the highest forms of art. My style of producing music is spontaneous. I try to go with a vibe, going with your energy, the compass to finding whatever you need to find. My inspiration comes from just music that I've heard in the past from some of my favorite producers and just having childhood memories of some of my favorite songs. So like I love, Work It from Missy Elliott that's produced by Timbaland. I just love those type of vibes and I've always wanted to be able to, have some sort of a legacy and create music as well that's gonna reach people. The impact I want to have on music is something that's just going to hold up for the test of time. Like just music that's going to transcend from generation to generation, creating vibes that, are infinite.
Oh, I like that little.
Yeah, that little.
Yeah.
No, I like that too.
Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's that. So it's kind of the same concept with the grassroots and stuff. So
That was awesome. Wow, 34 minutes.
Yeah, so this is one of the latest interviews we released.
Do you want me to play this one?
Well, yeah, might as well. It's up,
I'll play little bits,
screen,
man.
So
like
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. Oh, did you guys? Oh, okay. I was like, is it all B&W like black and
white?
white?
No. It's just the intro,
right?
Yeah,
That's dope. Yeah, let's speak a little bit about this because I want to show like kind of the studio, the space. Like when I think real, I don't know if maybe it's just like this is what I see, but like,
okay,
I guess this is the studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I see what you're talking about. Brady was like, Where'd you guys get these chairs?
Oh, the chairs. Yeah.
I can see there. And I guess they provide the chairs.
Yes, they do.
Nice.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. So and then as we're going, man, I can, you can kind of like give commentary over
Sure,
it, et cetera,
chime
et cetera.
in, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I swear I have a remote. Can you see that remote right on there? Thanks, bro. If this works, that would come clutch. Oh, it works.
It works. Perfect.
So if it's too loud, I'll let you talk, et cetera, et cetera. All right, guys. So if you want to give a little kind of like pre.
Yeah, sure. So this was an interview that we released a couple weeks ago with another Toronto artist. His name's Notify. So we've all been well, at least I know me and Jesse, and I think Dan as well has been a fan of his music for a little bit now. So we're someone who we wanted to have him on for a while because he's from another Toronto artist, and then he makes really good music, and I think he has definitely a good story and a good message to tell. So that's kind of why we wanted to really bring him on and highlight him as someone to watch and someone who I think can bring a good value to our audience. So yeah, this is kind of it'll open up with a little B-roll and stuff that Dan took of the interview, and then it'll get right.
And I'll even ask some questions too, because
sure.
I'm going to be interested in this.
100%.
All right, dope.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and clicking on this video. My name is Brady Carducci, and I'll be your host today. I have the pleasure today of sitting down with a man to my left. He's a Toronto-based singer, rapper from the city. Welcome to the show, Notify. How's it going?
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you coming on. I've been good, man. Can't complain.
Good.
So I wanted to get right into it. So to start things off, I wanted to talk a bit about where your passion for music came from. I know you're born in Montreal, but you grew up in Toronto for a large majority of your life. Did you grow up in a music household, or was it something your passion for music, something you cultivated by yourself?
My family was always going to church every Sunday, so I was playing the drums in church, and when I wasn't doing that, I was at home on the ice cream tub.
Oh, okay.
So before I got a drum set, so I was always surrounded by music, so I think that's where it kind of stems from.
Okay. When you were in the church playing drums, did you do any singing and stuff in the choir, or was it?
Oh no, as a kid I was shy as fuck.
Oh really? Okay.
I couldn't do any of that. Just the drums.
So as you can tell, these videos are definitely not kid approved on YouTube. So
but it would have been good for
exactly, not made for kids. Yeah. So obviously, having a love and passion for music. Thank you. Yeah. We can talk about that for a sec. So, we originally, when we first started doing them, we originally didn't have, because for our show in particular, we've gone through a couple different formats. So, I know the first one was just, me and Jesse would ask the questions, and we'd be behind the camera, and the person would just be, in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
that. And then we also we did a little, the podcasting style on the side, so it would just be strictly audio, and then once we teamed up with Mike, we really wanted to really up the production and up the style of the video. So then that's when we collectively decided that I'd be one of the hosts, and then have it would be me and the guests, and then everyone else would have their roles, like in audio and filming. Just
Yeah. So when did you become like the interviewer? Was it how many episodes have you done where you say you've been like the former interviewer?
So with this format, we've done probably we're going to be filming another one on this Friday, but so I'd say probably 6.
Nice.
We've released 4 so far, so we have another 2 to release, but in terms of this format, 6 in total. Just speaking about the cards real quick, is we didn't always used to have the cards. We just used to have a piece of paper, but then we were talking, and from a branding perspective, similar to the cups, it's like, okay, like people are going to see that on screen, you gotta brand it in some way. So
I love it.
Those are just off of Vistaprint, in case anyone's wondering. So
same thing. Vistaprint, guys. Mm-hmm. It's the way to go.
Definitely.
I didn't even know they made cards like that.
I didn't either for the longest time.
Are they cards as far as like, do you write on them?
Yeah.
Or
So what I do is because I mean, I think we paid for something like we got 250 of them or whatever. So I don't like, I don't want to, I want to make sure they last as long as possible. So I'll reuse them. So I won't write on them with pen, but I'll type up what my notes and stuff on the computer. I'll just cut it out and just paste it on. And I'll just take it off
Interesting.
After. Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Like, are you drawing that on? Because
no.
Is it like an erasable marker?
No, I wish. I mean, that'd probably be hella expensive. But
that's cool, man.
Yeah. No.
Speak a little bit about because I'm even interested in this because essentially Brady and I now are kind of doing the same roles as you guys can see here.
Yeah.
Speak a little bit. Was this probably wasn't this video here wasn't your first one?
No. So in terms of that format, that was my third. So yeah, that was my third. So
I'll keep it rolling in the background. I'm just gonna turn it down a bit so we can.
100%. So this is my third interview. Before that we had interviewed. So the first interview that we. Yeah. So okay. So the first interview we did was with Tiki Carlos. So he's actually a dancer. He's from Brampton as well. It seems to be a theme. A lot of the guests we interview are either from Brampton or Scarborough or that area. But so we interviewed. He's a dancer. So he he works a lot with like Roy Woods, and he was in the Drake and Rihanna work video. So he does a lot of like music video dancing and choreography. He's also a choreographer as well. So that was our first interview. And then Sorry?
I saw that. The light skin guy.
The light skin guy. Yeah. No, 100%.
Second you said choreographer.
Yeah. So yeah, he does that. So it was really good sitting down with him. That was our first one. And then the second one that we released was with a audio engineer. Nice. His name is Dominic. So he works with, I don't know if you know Anders. So
I'm a face guy.
Okay. He's Vietnamese. I think he's half Vietnamese, half white.
Okay.
He's like R&B. He kind of has a hybrid style, but he sticks towards more R&B stuff. So he works a lot with him and Ali Gotti as well, which is another up and coming Toronto artist as well. And then because at least for the show, just to give it a background, is we don't want to strictly just interview artists. We want to make sure we kind of cover the whole spectrum. So we have we're going to be coming out as well an episode with a writer, an artist manager, someone who does audio engineering, a dancer.
That's awesome.
Artist. So we really want to cover the whole shebang. But yeah, so this one was probably the third one that I did.
So by this time you kind of have a bit of a grasp on the flow, kind of what's going on.
Yeah, like I would say probably the first couple in terms of setup and just getting my comfortability was a little definitely I don't know if you could tell it was my first couple interviews that I did, but I definitely felt more confident with this one and the next couple that I did versus the first couple. That we.
It looks clean, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah,
it looks that wide shot. I love.
Thank you.
I appreciate a good wide shot, man. Like
Dan,
you guys really go minimal. Like
we do.
It looks good. It matches the reel, literally the black and white.
Yeah,
black chairs, white background.
Yeah, and just a little, I guess, insider information is so the wall is painted white background. So it's not all one strip.
It's not
it's separated. So what we did is we got your normal like paper 9-inch or 9-foot paper background, and we laid that across the floor and we just taped it down. So it looks like it's all one, but it's actually two separate pieces.
So that wall's painted white.
It's painted white,
and the floor is like a material.
Yes. Yeah.
You got a floor thing that big?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. We just went to VizTech on Queen Street East, and they managed to hook us up with that. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And you just taped it and it just seamlessly.
Yeah. It's
that's really cool.
Yeah.
My thought was it was like the studio had a massive.
No.
And I was like, that's probably pretty.
I wish, but hey, we had to kind of make do. Because like beforehand we were brainstorming in terms of like how we wanted the interview to look. So we were looking at how other people did it in Toronto, and we wanted to kind of separate ourselves from that. So we all collectively came up with the idea in terms of making the real minimalistic look and making it comfy, but I guess you could call concrete and
industrial.
Yeah, that's a good word. So that's kind of where the inspiration for the look came through. Now, in terms of the setup, we're actually going to be switching that up a bit in terms of, because what we found is the table and the space between the guests is a little bit too wide.
And I was actually going to ask that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are pros and cons to that too, though, like getting your space, kind of feeling a bit more safe.
Yeah.
Even like, this is things that may sound silly, but like it's true. Even chair positioning. Like there was a time with this podcast that I was going to have the chair see the rug. facing each other, and that's
okay.
that's very interrogation style. So
Yeah,
even if you
yeah.
notice with what you're doing here, a lot of podcasts they have like a 45-degree angle,
Yeah.
so it's much more communal. Like we're on the same team.
Exactly.
We're not against each other.
It's not like you're facing right.
Yeah, we're not
across from each
fighting.
other.
We're here to collaboratively give. You know, so like you can see, it's the same setup. It's very interesting. I love it. Like
yeah. So we're actually going to be switching with we got director chairs. So it's going to be a little bit raised.
Haven't you done that before?
No,
with
we haven't.
the Bilal.
Like,
yes,
he
sat on a director's
chair.
But
it wasn't. It was more of it was a stool. It wasn't a director's chair.
Okay.
It's going to be like we're not going to have, because I know in the Bilal one, we had the mic kind of in front of him. We're just going to do like the lav mics and stuff.
Nice.
So that
was actually my next question for audio, because it sounds like there's like a lav mic.
Yeah.
Because I saw the mic like way above, and I was like,
the shotgun mic. Yeah.
I was like, there's no way that's picking up that.
No. So what we do is now shout out to Jesse for this, because he's definitely well versed and experienced when it comes to audio. So he kind of takes the lead role on that. So what we do is we'll get each person with the lav mic. We'll obviously hook that up to the in camera, and then we like to, just in case, we'll double up on the audio. So that's honestly for anyone who's looking to come out with their own show and anything like that, highly recommend to double up on your audio, because we've had thankfully so far we haven't really had too bad of situations, but we've had some times where a lav mic will cut out and we'd have to mix it with the boom audio to make it work, and vice versa. So that's definitely pretty important as well.
No, my second guest here in the new house, a whole audio file corrupted.
Oh dang!
So
okay.
the entire, like, there was just I feel so bad. I'm gonna make it up to her, but it was just onboard camera.
And then that's like your worst nightmare too. It's oh my God.
Especially when you're a one-man band and like I'm like 2 audios, 3 cameras. Like you don't want to fuck that up. So I'm definitely down the road gonna get some lav mics when I get some decent ones. Like, but for now, like, pray we're all good with this. But no, get lav mics. That's sick.
Yeah, no, 100%. So yeah.
What would you say are some like tips you could give as far as interviewing go, as far as just off the top of your head, flow with this emotion, knowing when to pull, when to tug, when not to?
Yeah, so I can just walk it through from like how I do it, because I know everyone's process is different, but you kind of just got to find what works for you. But the way I do it is I like to I'll come up with the topics and the questions that we really want to hit on. So I'll talk to either their manager or them personally, and just kind of go over with them what they want to talk about. Then I'll kind of do a little bit of a draft of the questions that I'm going to be asking, and a lot of time I'll send it to them, either their manager, their PR person, or them directly, because they'd like to take a look at them, and then they'll kind of sign off, hey, I like this question,
okay,
but
so
I prefer not to talk about. So
yeah, absolutely. And I guess it makes sense, like it's completely going to depend on who you're interviewing. So this is pre-scripted a little bit. Yes, but what I've noticed too is because there's so many because I like to play off what the guest says. So literally half the questions that I talk about are just off the top of my head, and I'll just use what I have kind of pre-prepared as a guide. In case I really do have a brain fart, or I get too into the conversation, I kind of can go back on track. And I feel that, like, especially when the guests get bigger and they have seemingly more accomplishments, like it's good for you to do your research as far as like, so 3 years ago I noticed you had this show, bada boom. So those notes can definitely come clutch.
Exactly. Yeah. And in terms of just like your flow and comfortability, I would say, and I this is something that I've had to learn, and no means am I the best at it, but it's something I'm trying to improve upon. But it's like, don't listen to respond. I think it's like, listen to actually like take in what the guest is saying, because if you are just listening to respond, A, you can cut them off, and then B, you're not.
Sounds very disgenuine.
Yeah, exactly. You're not really taking in what they're saying. And what I found too is, like, at first I was like, well, I mean, if I'm not, because there's always that paranoia of, okay, I have to have the next question ready. I have to keep this conversation flowing. What I found is, if I'm actually like listening to what they're saying, it takes the pressure off of having to come up with the next thing to say. And if you're listening, you just come up with it naturally. Your brain just naturally does it.
That's That's it.
So
With
I think
this podcast here, anyone, like, it's the question will come when you're attentive and you're actually listening.
Exactly.
Because you got to think of like a normal conversation with a human being. Like you're not talking to them to be like, okay, what did you?
What am I gonna say next?
Exactly.
It just happens.
And the thing is too, I'm saying to you guys, like if there is a slight pause, like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, conversations naturally have slight pauses.
Yeah.
You can, maybe just like, and that's natural. Like it's very organic to be like, so like, what do you think's next?
Yeah.
Oh, bada bada boom. Like it shows genuineness that you're not. And you almost don't want to be too pre-planned because then it can feel like you said, like scripted and almost non-genuine.
Exactly.
Where it's like, okay, buddy, like I don't care. Like, so what'd you have for breakfast?
Yeah,
they're like, I just told you that my mom died, or like, or something crazy. And you're just like, so I completely. That's awesome.
Yeah, and also
I love the little logo background in the back, the animation.
Yeah. So we like to do that as well because a lot of the things what we've noticed a lot of people do as well is they, for example, like a lot of the things that some a guest would talk about, a lot of the average person may not know about it because it's industry specific. So we like to either if it's just a little title card or it's like the real background, we like to give a little bit of background information.
Just fill them in.
Exactly, and it kind of gives the audience a break of staring at my face or the guest's face for 40 plus minutes straight.
So would this be? Because I've noticed like different styles of content. This is more of like an interview podcast kind of casual, candid flex.
Yes.
And then you have others that are a bit more like mini documentary style.
Yes. So I mean, we can pull that up as well.
Sure,
so those are a little bit more documentary style that are a little bit more visually, like they're a little bit more visual, but they also have the the story element to it as well. So the audience gets something from that as well. I think one that would be good to show is we did one with his name's Emil Bennett. So he's a graphic designer. He's from Oakville, and so he approached us and he wanted us because he still is as well. So he is a videographer. So he, does a lot of filming for Roy Wood. So any kind of behind the scenes stuff that, you might have seen from Roy on his Instagram. So Emil was responsible for filming all that stuff. So he was doing that and he wanted to transition to do a little bit of graphic design. So the type of graphic design that he does I think is pretty unique in terms of he'll take for example, he took a picture of Pascal Siakam in the championship parade holding the Larry O'B trophy. And I'm trying to find the words to describe this, but he'll take that photo and he'll cut it up and layer it so it almost looks like a abstract collage type of thing. It's he'll show some examples in here, but it's really interesting. So we're kind of doing this video for him to promote his graphic design and to really this is going to be going on his website, and I know he put it on his social as well, just to kind of give the audience a little bit of background into who he is and then what he does as a graphic designer.
Absolutely. All right, let's run it.
Emil Bennett, I'm 24. I'm Emil Bennett, I'm 24. I'm from Oakville, Ontario. I grew up all across the GTA.
Yeah, so that's the type of stuff that he does right there.
Is the form of collage, but it's made in a way where it looks like an army print. It looks like camo, It looks like you can just throw that on anything and it just looks great. What drives me is just my experience from taking photos of multiple artists from Toronto, doing vlogs of multiple artists from Toronto, doing music videos for like Young Lean, Sandman, and and I just wanted to do something different, and I just was like, all right, let me just try something different. One day opened up my Photoshop and just fooled around and came up with something incredible. I am a relief team leader at Precision Record Pressing. I basically I work for Universal, Sony, Warner Brothers, and also independent artists who want to get their records produced. Wow.
So like he alluded to in there, he works for a record pressing company. So they pressed a lot of the records for like he mentioned, like Universal, Sony Music, and all that. So that right there is he actually pressed one of his designs on a record, and just. You wanted to do, and I think he might start selling those, but just to show kind of the diversity of what his designs can be used for and what it could go on. So I found that pretty cool as well.
Collection. I got Summer Nights collection, but a few couple designs that are my favorite.
I think that's good. Yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah. Sorry, it wasn't Pascal Siakam. It was Kawhi. But he kind of, if I describe that correctly, he kind of chopped up and then he kind of layers it and kind of does that thing, which I think is, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's all like squished together, so it's really cool. I definitely like that, and it's good for like, honestly, like I've popped his some of his designs as like a phone background, computer background, stuff like that. So it's definitely like a multi-use type of art that I think is pretty cool.
It's great being a Toronto.
I love it. Like the macros.
Painting and collages, cutting out images from magazines.
I feel like that's like a.
I'll be miserable.
I feel like it's let's get this back. And it's like you guys have like lengths of all the time. Like you have like the quick minutes just pop. You got the 40 minutes, then you have like a nice clean like 6-7 minutes.
Yeah,
just like a punchy. Like you guys kind of cover all bases, you know?
Yeah, because I know a lot of some people, you know, they really do enjoy like the more longer form stuff.
Right,
some people,
right.
you know, they just want to digest something in a quick couple minutes, and others, you know, you got to find that sweet range where you know it's not too long, it's not too short, it's kind of smack dab in the middle. So
amazing.
Yeah, we kind of do that as well.
Amazing.
So, everything.
Let's finish it off on
Definitely.
So yeah, guys, that was cool. I kind of already like I saw the stuff beforehand, so I kind of saw it a little bit, but I didn't know. You know, like obviously I'm not going to know every back end. Like I'm not you guys. So I hope you guys found that interesting as far as that goes. Where do you see, kind of wrapping it up, what are for you, the team, but you specifically too, where do you kind of want to take Real in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, and think like anything?
Yeah. So I definitely want to, in terms of like on the business end, definitely keep on doing what we're doing. Definitely, you know, continually pumping out content in terms of, you know, client content like videos and commercials and all that stuff. Really try and get more clients on retainer, you know, that monthly income coming in. But also we really want to make sure that we diversify, so we're not just working with one group of people, but we're able to you know, cater to or service as many people as possible. So really expanding on that portfolio. And then when it comes to, you know, the other half of our business, when it comes to doing the shows, I guess continue to really highlight, you know, both the people who are somewhat, you know, established and others that are, you know, on the come up, and definitely, you know, people who you should be, if you're into the creative field, people you should be looking out for. And then, you know, we have talked about this before, but we really would like to kind of host our own type of event as well. You know, whether that be like a panel or like some creative gallery or a show or something. That's something that we've talked about a few times now. It's just having the funds and making sure, you know, kind of
a creative gallery. That's sick.
Yeah. So
that's
just
really
kind of
cool.
to really showcase, you know, obviously the creatives and the talent that's in the city, because like you alluded to earlier, Toronto is definitely a city that is on the rise.
It's on the rise, man. It's picking up.
Yeah, it's picking up.
As far as new creative energy, you know,
yeah,
people are beginning to wake up and realize, like, you know what? Let's fucking run it.
Yeah, let's go kind of full force. So that's kind of where we want to go. And then, you know, hopefully as well down the road, we want to kind of have our own studio, our own space where we can kind of create and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess that's where we kind of see ourselves down the road. It's definitely going to be a journey, and, you know, we'll probably have a lot of struggles, peaks and valleys along the way, but, you know, we keep our head down, you know, and it'll hopefully, you know, turn out the way we want it to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So shout outs to Jesse, to Daniel,
shout
to Josh.
Dan, Jess, Josh, Ronnie Tam as well, Mike Upfold, everyone, CJ, everyone involved. Nice. Appreciate you guys so much, and yeah, I wouldn't be able to, you know, this whole vision wouldn't be able to come together without a team. Yes. So
I'm very excited for you guys, for everything. As
Thank
far
you,
as 2020 spring's coming, like, it's fresh, bro. People are now coming out and about, like, there's no excuse. It's warm outside. Like, watching that video, bro, gave me those feels, because like it looked a little warm, you know. So anyways, I'll finish it there. I hope you guys found this resourceful and useful. I am stoked that Brady the man was able to come onto the show.
I appreciate you having me on.
Super dope.
It means a lot. So
I hope you guys got a ton of value from that, and definitely, you know, be on the lookout for Real, guys. This was a nice little behind the scenes inside scoop. All links down below, which I'm sure a ton of you guys are already following. But with that, I will finish it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, with that, we will catch you in the next one. All Brady's links as well down below. Check him out, you know, as far as an individual, and we will talk soon. So thanks, guys. Till then, much love. Peace. That's it.
Bam. Awesome.
Done, bro.
That's good, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Dude, you killed it.
Thanks, dude. You too, man. It was a good talk.